Good morning, District 200. It's a great day here in the district. Today's our last day of school before the winter break. My name is Erica Liacano. I am 800. We are so excited that you've tuned in today for our first edition of Live in Your Community Schools. This show will be brought to you monthly, and it's designed to provide you, the community, an inside look into our schools. So thank you so much for joining us. Here's how the show will work. At least once per month, we are going to bring you a live look into one of our classrooms. The way students are learning today is different than the way they were learning 5 to 10 years ago. And this show is our opportunity to provide you, the community, a live look into those schools, into our schools, and to see the teaching and learning classes that are teaching and learning that's happening in our classrooms. So today's show, we are going to be giving you a live look into the Business Incubator classrooms at Wheaton North and Wheaton Warrenville South High Schools. So to start us off, I am going to bring in Mr. Dan Korntheuer. He's our Director of High School Instruction. Overview of the Business Incubator course, and then we will jump over to Wheaton Warrenville South High School. So good morning, Dan. How are you?
Good morning. Good. How are you doing?
Good. So thank you so much for joining us today. Can you give us just a little overview of what this new course that we're offering at both of our high schools? Tell us more about the Business Incubator course.
Sure. The Business Incubator course is a new elective in our Fine and Professional Arts department, and students learn how to become entrepreneurs by running their own small business. So they form teams at the beginning of the year, and they develop an idea for a product or a service, and then they take that from start to finish throughout the whole year. And by the end of the year, they've created their own small business and learned all kinds of business skills that go with that along the way. So some of the other skills they learn outside of just learning about business in general, they learn teamwork skills, they learn presentation skills, interpersonal skills. There's a lot of soft skills that kind of come with trying to start your own business, and it's a unique learning opportunity for students. So we're really excited about that. So the rooms that you'll see coming up here are a little bit different than a traditional classroom. You'll see some flexible seating, some soft seating, tables with adjustable height. There's monitors at each station where students can connect a device to, so they can share ideas and things like that. So the basic idea is to create a collaborative space where students have a little bit different atmosphere. So they have that feeling of leaving school and going to a workplace. And the concept behind it is to create an environment where students can develop new ideas and kind of think with each other and work with the teacher and their mentors and coaches to come up with something new and exciting. So we're pretty excited about it. And then kind of in conjunction with Mobile Makers, with Incubator, we started Mobile Makers, which is a coding class where students can learn how to build apps. And then we're hoping they can use those app building skills in Business Incubator.
Well, thank you so much, Dan. Sure. I'm looking at the clock right now, and I think we're ready to jump over to Wheaton Warrenville South High School. So we will talk to you again here in just a few minutes.
Great. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay. And I am going to be adding Mr. Tim Brylka to the broadcast now. Hello, Mr. Brylka.
Hi, Erica. How you doing?
Good. So Mr. Brylka is our teacher at Wheaton Warrenville South for the Business Incubator class. So welcome to the show, Tim. Tim, can you tell us a little bit more? What are your students working on today?
Yeah, so today, the last week or so, they've been looking at their financial situations. So we actually brought in financial advisors from the area, and I think we have 4 out of the 5 are former students, which is pretty cool. But we brought them in to sit down and work with teams individually and go through some of their worksheets, financial worksheets. So market sizing, all their costs, startup costs, cost of goods sold, SG&A, and then revenue, to try and get a sense of what opportunities out there that they might have as businesses. So it's actually a pretty cool day. You can kind of see in the background, each of our teams are, and I'll take you around, are sitting with a financial advisor that does this with businesses.
Great. So Mr. Brylka, I understand that with the room, there was a renovation that took place this summer, and there's some exciting new features of this classroom that make it very unique to the school. It does not look like your typical high school classroom. Can you walk us around the room and show us some of the features of your classroom?
Yeah, so, some of the things they did was put individual workstations for each of the teams so that they can sit down as a business and have a space to work. And then there's monitors at every one of those tables, and those monitors plug into our computers so they can pull up. One group actually has it right now. They can pull up their financials or whatever they're working on and then share that with whoever might be looking at it. So that's pretty cool. The other thing that's neat is some of the soft seating that's right here in the middle. It's a comfortable space. Anytime we have a presenter come in, they'll sit here, and then we'll go over our lesson on the big screen up there. I'm trying to make sure you can see that.
We can see it. Thank you.
And then there's a conference area that we're kind of waiting on a few pieces still over here. So yeah, it's definitely not your traditional classroom setting.
And I think another important feature is you've got some quotations on the wall, some really, really cool signage that has some inspiring quotes on there to keep students inspired and motivated and engaged. Could you maybe show us one of those signs?
Yeah, so the biggest one, the most popular one from all of our coaches that have come in and talked and shared their stories as entrepreneurs, constantly refer to this one up here from Thomas Edison. Let me make sure you can see
just a little bit.
Is that all right? So they'll talk about failures they've had. Could you see that all right, Erica? Sorry.
We did. Yes,
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll talk about their failures and how that's nothing that should discourage you. And so it's pretty cool. Literally every coach will reference that quote as they go through their story and share some of the failures that they've had.
Wonderful. So I think we are going to hear from some students today that are going to share a little bit more about their business plan and what they've been working on so far this semester.
Yeah. So let me know if it's hard to hear. Let me know and they can move away. But this is our group, the Den.
Here's Mrs. Swanson. Hello, Lori.
Lori, you get
mentioned. How are you?
Mrs. Swanson is a local community member, and are you a former South parent or still a current South parent?
Current South parent and former Tiger as well.
And she's one of our mentors for our team here.
Great. Well, thank you for being with us today. I hope we didn't just dump this on you that you were going to be live on TV.
We did.
Yeah. She had no idea.
I had no idea.
Well, great. So I think our team name is the Den. Is that correct?
Correct.
Well, welcome, Tiger students.
Well, I'm Allie.
I'm Gerardo. I'm Liam. I'm Christian.
And then we also have our advisor here today is Nick.
I'm Nick. How are you?
Hi, Nick.
Former student as well.
So basically what we're doing is we're a news app. So we're starting with a website and hopefully going to an app later. And so we're targeting teenagers and we're attempting to create free-thinking young adults through the bias in news. So we are fully aware that bias is presented in the news. And so we are just trying to show it both sides so that students can create their own ideas and they're not just going with whatever anyone else is saying.
Cool. So what are some of the challenges that you've encountered while you're building out your business?
I guess one of the main challenges is just trying to wrap our minds around the whole idea of creating this business from scratch. Coming into this class, it's kind of like you hit a wall, but then it's also at the same time, it's a great experience and you learn a lot from it. It's just a lot of content to take in.
Yeah, for sure.
So what are some of the surprises that you've encountered this semester?
There's a lot of spreadsheets and a lot of things that go into like the production and like revenue streams. One of the problems that we have is like
Making money.
basically like calculating and figuring out what our revenue streams are going to be, and that mostly just comes from the nature of our business because it's not a product based, it's a content based.
So, are your friends asking you about what you're doing in this class? And if so, what are you telling them?
We basically give our elevator pitch. We're just trying to get our word out now, just because we're in the website development right now, so it's not up yet, but we're making it. So we're just trying to get our word out for what we are.
Right. So what would you say to a sophomore or a junior who's thinking about taking this class next year? What would you tell them to encourage them to take this class?
They definitely should, because it's great like experience, and especially for me. So I'm a senior and I have college next year and I don't really know what I want to do. And so I wanted to take this class to see if this is a line that I'd like to go into, and I'm really enjoying the class. So I'm definitely like considering it. So especially for anybody trying to like go into business or don't really know what they want to do, I think it's a great opportunity to like learn. And I know that's the same with most of the people in my group. We're trying to figure out what we're kind of wanting to do, and it's a good experience.
Does anyone know what their plans are for next year yet?
I mean, I'm not sure yet. I'm probably gonna go to business now. I'm probably changing up my career now from being like working with medicine now to being business. I'm more intrigued about it than I was before entering this class.
Great. So what do you think about the space? What do you think about the new classroom? What do you think about it? What are your favorite aspects of it?
It's comfortable.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's definitely different, and it's kind of nice to have a switch in your schedule where you don't go to a normal classroom with these bright lights. You have this window right here, and it's very open. So it's a unique learning experience.
Wonderful. Well, so pitch night is going to be on May 22nd at 6 o'clock at South High School. And that's, I know the top two teams from each two high schools will be pitching to the Sharks, your board of advisors, your business model. And best of luck to you that you're one of the top two teams. Do you feel ready for that? Or what are some of the main areas that you need to work on in preparation for that event?
I feel prepared, but we definitely need to just get our heads in the game and really focus on what we're doing. We need to just narrow down our focus right now because we're kind of big picture right now and we're kind of closing in. So very soon we'll be ready. Very soon.
So what's the next unit you have coming up after? So you just had finance. What's next?
It's our MVP. The most viable product.
Okay. What happens at that event?
So we're just trying to create something that's like, it's like basically, it's like a smaller example of like what we're trying to do. So just to get it out there to like, I don't know, just show what we would be creating. So it's just like a smaller version.
So Mrs. Swanson.
Yes.
If I could ask you, tell me about your volunteering your time. You meet with your group of students once a week. What has this experience been like for you?
Well, given that I'm an entrepreneur myself, I've learned already. After the first meeting, I went back home and I'm like, okay, we've got to do this. Like, why haven't I done that? So I think from someone who's been owned their own business for 20 plus years, I think it's been really interesting for me. And I'm blown away by the kids, how much they know. And I don't know why I don't remember being that smart in high school. So I just am blown away by and how hard they're working. All of the teams that I've seen are working really hard and learning a lot and pretty savvy. So I think that's been a breath of fresh air, really. And that my team is doing things around, expanding people's minds, a higher mission of, helping people see both sides to an issue and being able to sort of make their own decision, I think is pretty cool in this day and age. So I love that. That was really able to get behind that mission.
Well, can you share one example of maybe where your group experienced a challenge and how you saw them successfully work through that challenge?
Well, I think that the way this program is set up is pretty phenomenal because it steps you sort of through, and when you instead of getting so far down the road that you're in real deep trouble, that all along the path you're sort of like able to pivot around particular challenges, and they bring in some really great mentors or coaches, or what do they call them? Coaches about specific issues. So again, if you're coming into a roadblock, you have access to people that know more, than certainly I do about a particular issue. And so I think I don't have a specific challenge necessarily. It's just been, as we come up against something, we have a lot of resources available to figure our way through it. And I think that's the beauty of the program.
And maybe for our coach today, I'm so sorry, I did not write down your name. Can you tell us what's the most important lesson that you shared with students today?
Most important lesson I share with students today. I don't know if I really had a lesson, but I think it's just really thinking through your concept to understand your model and really fine tune what you're trying to deliver and how to best go about doing that in a way that's profitable.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us today. If we could maybe just take one more quick look around your room, say hi to some of your students.
Guys, give a quick hi. Yep. There we go. Sorry, moving around. We're getting closer to wrapping up for the day, but guys, give a wave. Hi. Want to say hi real quick? Hello. Chuck McKenna.
Hello.
Hi. How we doing?
All right, Mr. Brylka, I know you need to wrap up. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope that you and your students have a wonderful, wonderful winter break.
Absolutely. Same to you. Thanks, Erica.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, I hope that you were just as impressed and excited about what we saw at Wheaton Warrenville South this morning. And now the bell is about to ring at both of our high schools, and the passing period will take place. So right now we are going to invite Mr. Korntheuer back to the broadcast, and he's going to tell us a little bit more. Welcome back, Dan.
Hi.
Up there correctly. Welcome back, Dan. Dan is going to tell us a little bit more, go into a little more detail about how this program came to be. So, Dan, I know that this program has started, it originated at Barrington High School and several other suburban Chicago areas, and actually high schools throughout the country have brought this course to their high school. Tell us about how it came to be in District 200.
Sure. Well, you mentioned Barrington High School kind of being the starting point for the Business Incubator program, and it has spread around some of the Chicago area high schools. And we actually had two District 200 community members who were involved in Business Incubator through their workplace. So they had a great experience with Business Incubator. I think it was at Fremd High School, and being District 200 community members, they thought it would be a great opportunity for students here. And so they approached our superintendent, Dr. Schuler, about the possibility of bringing Business Incubator down here to Wheaton North and Wheaton Warrenville South. So Dr. Schuler organized the team, and we went and looked at a few different high schools who are doing the Business Incubator program. And a lot like what we're doing today, we talked with a lot of students, and they were just really passionate about what they were doing. And the program, we felt like, there are great ideas that these students were making, and we were really confident that our students could do the same thing. So with the support of building administration at North and South, and with the help of the teachers and the department chairs and assistant principals and so on, we got kind of everything organized last year and recruited community members and volunteers like you saw at South, coaches and mentors, and kind of got things going there. Teachers went through training over the summer, and the furniture and the equipment arrived right before school, and we got everything set up. And the best part is kind of what you saw at South and what you'll see at North, is having the kids in the room and getting to listen to the ideas that they have and all the different things they're learning.
Great. So Can you tell us more about the role of the board of advisors and how the role that they play? And I know that Jay and Rob, who you mentioned, they are on the board of advisors, but there's, I believe, five other people who are. What role do they play in the program?
Sure. The board of advisors is kind of like our Shark Tank, if you've seen that program. So they are, like you mentioned, all District 200, either parents or community members or both, obviously. And they were very fortunate. They put up some funding to help us refresh, revamp, rebuild the classrooms and put the furniture in there and the equipment, things like that. But they also kind of guide some of the early decisions around what the program's going to look like and how we're going to do some of these things. One of the students mentioned the MVP pitch, the minimum viable product pitches. Those are coming up at the end of February. And our board of advisors will serve as kind of the panel of experts to listen to those pitches and provide students with encouragement and guidance and maybe a couple things to work on. There's an opportunity for some funding in the form of a grant that'll happen at that point. And then at the end of the year, you mentioned the final pitch night, they'll serve as the Shark Tank panel there as well. And they'll end up selecting a winning team. So it'll be very exciting.
So our board of advisors, each one of them bring a and professional background. Mm-hmm. Who are our board of advisors and what's their professional background?
Yeah, it's a pretty wide variety, like you mentioned, and I feel like our coaches and mentors come from a variety of backgrounds too. And some of them are entrepreneurs, like Mrs. Swanson. They own their own business. Some people are in kind of the corporate world. There's all kinds of people, which is really great for the students to see. As far as our board of advisors, we have one that's in marketing. We have one that's a gentleman that's retired who is a volunteer with the Student Excellence Foundation. One is works with Northwestern Medicine. So we've got all different kinds of people in all different walks. Actually, another one owns his own business, a wood flooring business, technology. So it's a pretty diverse group that way, which is great, and they're a great resource for our kids.
Absolutely. So our district's education foundation, the Student Excellence Foundation, they've played a role in helping this program come to fruition. Can you tell us more about their involvement in the program?
Sure. We've had a number of different partnerships we've kind of formed, and the Student Excellence Foundation is one of those. They sponsor a seat on the board of advisors, and they provided 2 grants, one for the board of advisors and then another one to help some of our MVP pitches and then the final pitches at the end of the year. So we're really grateful for their partnership. Northwestern Medicine has done the same thing. The graphics that you see, or the sign that Mr. Brylka showed, and you saw some of the other ones hanging around the room, and you'll see some of those at North too. That was all contributed by Allegra Marketing out of Romeoville. Tom Wilhelm runs that office, and he's a Wheaton Central alum. So we've had a number of different groups get involved, which is terrific. I should mention too, the Women in Business Committee for the Wheaton Chamber of Commerce. They had their annual fashion show fundraiser, and they contributed all the proceeds of that to the Business Incubator program. So it's been great to kind of bring a bunch of groups from the outside in and get them exposed to our students. It's been good for the students too to get familiar with all the people and the support of the community.
Sounds like this has been an all hands on deck community-wide effort to help bring this program and make it possible here in District 200.
That's right.
So, Dean, if people are involved in the program, what do they need to do?
If people want to get involved, you kind of cut out there for a minute. Is that?
If people want to get involved in the program, what do they need to do?
Sure. They can contact me here at the district office. My email's on the screen there. I can provide information for people. If you call the district office, and mention Business Incubator, that'll get routed this direction too. And if people reach out to the school, that we'll get you. As long as you mention Business Incubator, we can get you signed up. We'll be looking to start to kind of see where we're at in terms of coaches. Like was mentioned earlier, coaches are kind of guest teachers, and they come in and teach a specific content area that fits with their background, and we provide the base level curriculum. And then what's really great about it is our coaches provide kind of their life experiences, and that kind of brings some more life to it. Our mentors are paired with a specific team through the whole year. So if you're interested in either or both of those, we'll be starting to kind of recruit people this spring and see where we're at, how many people. Hopefully we have a lot of people coming back, but we're also hoping that our numbers in the classes get bigger. So then when that happens, we'll need more mentors and more coaches. So we'll be looking to find people who want to get involved and have fun and get to know our kids and have fun with our different classrooms in the spaces that we showed already.
Well, thank you so much, Dan. I'm looking at the clock right now, and students at North should be settled in their classroom. So thank you again for joining us, and I hope you have a great winter break.
You too. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, I'm glad that we got a little bit more of an in-depth I'm glad that we got a more in-depth look into how the program came to fruition and the important features of the program. I am going to add to the broadcast Mr. Chrisman should be joining us here any second. There he is.
Good morning.
Greg Chrisman is the teacher at Wheaton North High School for the Business Incubator class. Good morning, Mr. Chrisman.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Great.
So tell us, what are your students working on today?
Today we're working on our financial statements. The students have been trying to figure out a correct price point and also what their market is actually going to be. Then after that, what they kind of worked on is some of the costs that are associated with starting up a business. And that's something that they've worked hand in hand with their mentors and also some various coaches that have come in to try to get these numbers and assumptions as close to accurate as possible.
Great. So like South, your classroom also underwent a renovation this summer. We're standing in what used to be, you are standing in what used to be an old computer lab with rows of desks. Underwent a renovation this summer as well. Can you show us around the room and highlight some of the special features?
Absolutely. So I'll just kind of take a little tour of the room. And as I'm doing that, if you take a look at some of the different quotes, and you can kind of see some of the different teams right there that we have. So teams, you can say hi. We got mini mechanics right there. In the back left right there, we have student life. In the middle there, we have NeighborNet. Over there, we have flex names. Some of the different features of the rooms that you can kind of see is there's some inspirational quotes that are written on the walls. There also all the students are at the collaborative workstations. This is really valuable in like kind of the team process and also serves as a great meeting area for whenever the mentors come in and when the coaches come in. It kind of gives them a good workspace for them to work collaboratively together.
Wonderful. Could you maybe take us a little bit closer to what's one of the favorite quotes that in the room that students have said is kind of really inspires them?
Yeah, the one quote that I think they like is just because they kind of can recognize with, I'm not sure if you can read it, but the quote back there by Steve Jobs, that's one of them. Again, it kind of sets the tone of the class whenever they come in. It's something that they can read and kind of gets them in the right mindset to start thinking creatively.
Wonderful. And I understand we are going to hear from Team Drinkster today. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. All right, so Team Drinkster has a special holiday edition of their, let me see right here. Yeah. All right, you guys ready?
Good morning, Team Drinkster.
All right. Hi, my name is Jake Kanker. I'm here to represent the Drinkster, best new product for your beverage. All right, picture this. You go to your local coffee shop and you pick up a nice hot coffee or a nice cold iced coffee. You already know the second you leave that coffee shop, you already know your hot coffee is going to get eventually cold and that iced coffee is going to get eventually lukewarm and watered down. That's disgusting. What are you going to do? You can't reheat your coffee on the go, and you can't make your iced coffee non-lukewarm. You're going to have to throw that out. That's just cash in the trash. Well, the Drinkster is here to solve all your beverage blunders.
I love cash in the trash.
All right, there you go. Good job.
So, Mr. Chrisman, could we maybe come a little bit closer to Team Drinkster?
Okay, Team
Ask
Drinkster.
Ask him a couple of questions.
A couple of questions for you.
Oh, here, you want
Can you guys come a little closer so you can see on there?
Sure.
As long as you can see yourself in there.
Always ready, right, gentlemen? Always prepared.
We can't hear you. It's in
your
ear, but we
headphones.
can't hear it.
Okay. Erica, can you say that again to them?
Is it always prepared, always ready to answer questions, right?
Always.
Of course.
Well, I won't be too tough on you. What's been the most challenging aspect of this course so far this year?
Well, I think since it's sort of like this is the first year it's been here, it's sort of like a little bit disorganized, feels like, kind of just jumps around from thing to thing to thing to thing. So
I think more just like finding the numbers itself, but with the mentors that we've worked with, it's been easier to get those numbers that we need to make our product a real thing. So that's been a help. All those people coming in to help us out.
Mm-hmm.
Great. So
any other questions?
What's been the most exciting part of the course for you this year?
Honestly, it's probably just been able to formulate our ideas into like a product that we would like to make ourselves, just kind of as a team. It's just been really awesome and cool to be able to work with like this great team and kind of work together to make this awesome product together.
My favorite part of the class is learning like the structure and all the different aspects it takes to create a successful business.
Mm-hmm. And then, going into business next year as my major in college, it's sort of been like a good pathway into that to get me excited for what is to come in the future.
Right. And for me, it's all like the coaches and mentors that come in and give us like real like advice from experience is super helpful. So
also Mr. Chrisman, great teacher.
Yes,
right.
This guy right here.
Great job.
Yes, he is. He is awesome. So do any of, I know the one student, you said that you were going to be going into business next year. Does anyone else have any intentions to go into business after they leave Wheaton North?
Yeah. Yes.
I think so. I'm still a junior, so I'm not exactly sure yet, but it's definitely on the radar.
Yeah, I'm going to engineering, but I'm going to probably apply that in a business aspect.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing. That the final pitch night is on May 22nd at 6 o'clock. May 22nd at 6 o'clock at Wheaton Warrenville South High School. And the top two teams from each two high schools are going to be giving their final pitch that night. Best of luck to you that you guys are one of those teams. Do you feel prepared for that, or what are some of the things that you know you need to work on prior to that pitch night?
Well, we don't feel prepared for May, right? We need to make like a prototype and like finalize the design and branding and all that. We still need to work out. We're working through like numbers like sales information right now, like revenue stuff.
Working with our mentor and the other people that come in, we'll be able to help finalize a product, since our mentor will be able to set us up with community companies and plastic molding companies to help us get our product a real thing. So that's been a help. And then I think that'll help us lead into a better presentation and hopefully be able to be there at pitch night in May.
Yeah, I kind of disagree with you, Andrew, because I think that we're more prepared than he made it sound. We've definitely done a lot to prepare for that night. And I think the thing we still need to work on is we need to get a model of our Drinkster so we can let the judges have a hands-on experience with it.
That's the big thing. And then we'll be set. We're ready.
Right. The pitch is going to be good. We just
all right. Good job, Drinkster.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Chrisman. If we could just take one more quick look around the room and say thank you to our students, and everybody have a great winter break.
All right. Thanks for having us.
Bye-bye. Well, welcome back. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. It was a wonderful experience to see live in your community schools to the new Business Incubator classroom at Wheaton North and Wheaton Warrenville South High School. Please tune in next month we're going to be going live at Madison Elementary and their new Get Fit Lab. We will be sharing out details of the specific date and time. I hope you join us again. Again, everyone have a wonderful holiday season, and thanks for tuning in today. Bye-bye.